All right, people, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for some real people out there like you and me. Today, I've got probably really the hottest woman, we'll say it that way, because that'll work. Hottest woman in all of melodic rock today. That's my humble opinion. You can agree or disagree with that, but if you haven't heard Chez Kane, this is her first CD. We had her on when this came out, and people were really happy when they heard this. They were telling me, thanks, Dave. Thanks for telling us about this. And now she's got a brand new album coming out on October 21st called Powerzone. Let's say hello to Chez Kane. Chez, how are you?
I am really good. It's good to be back. And before we actually get into the interview, I just want to thank you for promoting me on your YouTube channel, because I've been seeing the videos and it means so much. So thank you very much. And thank you for having me back.
Yeah, well, thanks for being back. Look, the sophomore jinx is not working on the Powerzone album, thanks to the label. I've heard it, and we've got a couple of singles that are out there. We've got a very interesting video too, which I'm sure people are responding to. I had a couple of people say, hey, did you see the Chez Kane video for I Still Want You? And I'm like, no, not yet. And they're like, you got to go watch this. So you went like full Lita Ford on this video, full like Cher meets Lita Ford. You were wearing these shorts and people were telling me, I'm like, look, forget about all that. You can look at all that stuff, right? And she's obviously a beautiful woman, but these vocals are amazing. I mean, so you're basically picking up where that whole genre kind of left off. How do you feel about all that stuff? Are you a shy person? Do you like doing this? I watched a video where you said your shorts were a little uncomfortable, right?
You could say that.
Yeah.
No, it's quite funny because you kind of nailed it on the head. So when it came to deciding on which direction we were going with like clothes and imagery for this album, Danny asked me about it, and I said, do you know what? I've been looking up to people like Lita Ford and Cher, and they are the two people that I said. They are the two female rockers that I said. So you've nailed it on the head. And I said that when I was watching these women when I was younger, I never thought I could be like them, but I always thought they were so cool. And now I'm a little bit older and I wanted to step out the box, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So it's just been an inspiration of mine, and I just feel like it's been so cool to be able to do it. And I love it. It's the image that I've grown up loving. So why wouldn't I try doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it works. I think you're probably not going to get an argument from a guy who grew up watching that stuff. I think it's mostly in good taste. It's a little bit racier than maybe some of the things that are out there. But then again, compared to some of like what's going on in the pop music world here in the United States, it's kind of tame, really. And
it's quite tame.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not watching like Cardi B or Beyonce or anything like that. But see, that music in that time period, the women were very beautiful, and they were very sexy, and they went out there and they were competing obviously with the guys. And I think it's great, but I don't think any of this would work, Chez, if you didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, thank you.
You're a great singer. You've got this guy, Danny Rexon, is just blowing me away with the music, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
he writes these great songs and these great hooks. The new record, like this one, you got a track with a saxophone on it, and it's got this Eddie Money vibe to it again, because Eddie used to come out there with the sax, like, Take Me Home Tonight, things like that. And I just love that. And that is so missing in the music world today. I think you're all alone in this lane right now. I don't know anybody else who's a woman who's making this kind of music.
Danny's incredible songwriter, and that's blowing me away. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and you're also showing up in other places. This little project called Restless Spirits. There's a nice tune out there with you and Tony Hernando jamming on the guitar. Dreams of the Wild, right? Is that the right title? Do I have that right?
Yeah, so I did 3 tracks on that album, but they released Dreams of the Wild.
Yeah, and another great big hook to the song, kind of a little grittier, almost like 70s meets 80s kind of sound to it. And again, we got, you know, a feisty Chez Kane in the video, and going back and forth with Tony, who's a really great guitar player. And then the other day, Chez, I get another notification from this band called Ginevra. I had never heard of them. And then you're in the song. It's called Masquerade. It's like this real nice sort of acoustic power ballad type song. I mean, you're busy. You're getting all kinds of work.
It's been pretty manic since the start. So since obviously I did the first album with Frontiers, things have just happened like one thing after another. So I don't feel like I've stopped, but it's a good thing because it's my dream, it's my passion, and it's all I've ever worked hard for. So I'm embracing it. Yeah.
So question I have for you, and I might have asked this the first time we talked, is why is this the music that you love? I mean, you could do like pop music, you could do R&B, you could probably even be a blues singer. I hear that in your voice. Like you could probably go out there and you go to the Smoky Blues bar and hang out and be a kind of like a torch singer almost. You got that. What's so funny? You got that range, you know what I mean? So why this great melodic rock with the big choruses and the keyboards, and it's just cool. I love it, but why?
I think it's because obviously my first love for this music was Def Leppard, and Def Leppard were the band that, you know, made rock for me. I didn't know much about rock until I discovered Def Leppard. So I was 13 years old when I did discover them, and it kind of went on from there. But I love so many different genres of music. It's not just rock, but it always goes back to rock for me. So if I put music on, it tends to be rock, and it tends to be the uplifting kind of 80s style. But sometimes if I'm feeling a bit more emotional, I'll go for like the heavier Alter Bridge kind of music. So it always goes back to rock for me.
Cool. Very cool. You know, it's funny you mentioned Def Leppard, because on the new record, there's a song called Rock You Up, which I thought had this Mutt Lange thing going on with the production and the vocals and the chorus. Kind of sounds like Chez sings Def Leppard. So again, good job. Good segue there. Danny,
a good compliment.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the comparisons, Lita Ford, Vixen, Pat Benatar, a lot of people think you kind of do a little like this album cover, especially you flip it around and flip it back. This to me is like the Crimes of Passion kind of look, you know, like that whole era. And your vocal too is really what's important, is that you've got great range, you hit these high notes, and you seem to, hey, one thing about that video I watched, you did this thing, the making of the video and so forth, you seem to be relaxed, having fun, like a regular person. Is this stuff like, is it tedious? Do you like doing videos, or what's that like?
I'm having a whale of a time. I'm not gonna lie. I love shooting videos. Obviously everybody gets times where it's harder, or whether you're feeling a bit tired that day, but I just love every second of it. And you look back on these memories and it's just, I did that. It's a really cool thing to look back on. I find recording quite tedious sometimes, because obviously when it comes to actually recording stuff, you want to be at your best because it's on record and it's going to be on that record for the rest of your life. So I do work hard to get my voice to where it needs to be to record the album, but I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. Is Danny kind of a perfectionist? Does he make you do like a million takes of something before, you know, he puts it on a record?
I think I'm more of a perfectionist when it comes to my voice. I do drive myself probably too hard sometimes. But I won't send Danny anything that I'm not happy with, and then he'll listen to it. And if he wants me to adapt something or change a note here and there, then I'll do it again. But again, I have to be happy with it before I send it off.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, this album, again, seems to just pick up where this first one left off. I mean, how do you go about choosing the songs? Were there more songs than the ones you ended up using? And do you have a say? And Chez can say, hey, Danny, I think song A is better than song B. I know you like song B, but I'd like to put song A on the album. Or is he like, taskmaster, like these are the songs we're doing? Do you have any input to that?
100%. So everything that he sends me, if there's something that I'm not keen on, we won't use it. He wants me to be just as happy, because obviously I'm performing the songs and I'll be taking the songs out on the road. So he thinks it's just as important that I have that opinion as well. So, but obviously Danny writes all the songs. I did have the option to write, but Danny does such a good job that I'm happy for him to write the songs, because he's got, I don't know what it is, but he's just perfect at writing this music. So leave him write and I'll sing them.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Crazy Licks, don't say this to Danny. I'm sure he'll watch the video, but I mean, I like Crazy Licks, but let me be honest here. Your stuff to me, I don't know if because he's writing stuff for a female singer, and he's kind of dipping into a little bit of that top 40 vibe of the 80s, and he's mixing it. I even hear some sounds that are even older than that. Like he's incorporating some of these things that I forgot about, different reference points for music along the way for the last, I don't know how many years, but he does a really good job at that. And, Crazy Licks tends to be more of a, hey, we're a metal band that's got keyboards or whatever and big hair and so forth. And there's a sound expectation. But with you, I think he's managed to kind of capture this pop sound in addition to this sort of up-tempo hard rocking sound. And just don't tell him I like you better. Just don't tell him though, okay?
Nobody's listening.
Yeah, but he's the brains though, so he gets credit for it too. Well, you're the beauty, he's the brains, but you're also a great performer too. Someone has to be there to pull off this music. Otherwise, he could have this great vision and not be able to have it fulfilled. Whereas, hey, I've got Chez Kane, she can do this, right? So it gives him probably the freedom to kind of live a little bit vicariously through some of the things that you're singing and doing out there.
Yeah, well, he's highly inspired by all of this kind of music and stuff. And when he contacted me, it was right up my street, because obviously I love this style of music. It always stems back to this style of music for me, obviously with Def Leppard. And he's just so good at it. And I feel like he knows me so well now that he's writing perfectly to suit my voice. And I don't want to mess with perfection. So I'm just like, yeah, you write the songs, I'll sing them. This is working. And our working relationship is awesome. We've become like really good friends now.
That's really cool. So the question might be asked, is Chez Kane going to be out on tour? Maybe opening up for Crazy Licks, or maybe Crazy Licks opens up for Chez Kane?
Oh man. So I am going out on tour a week after the album comes out. So I start a UK tour on the 27th of October, and I'm doing a headline tour across the UK, 10 dates. And then I'm going over to Belgium. I'm doing some shows in Norway, Sweden, Spain. And then I got the Monsters of Rock cruise next year as well.
Nice. So this is good.
Very excited about.
I hate to make this about me, but I can just say, look, I knew Chez Kane, right at the beginning, and then when you become a big superstar, right, and forget about me. No, I'm kidding, but you could always say, yeah, that guy Dave, he had me on his show, but I've moved on now. But I hope you do. Actually, I hope you get.
I would never do that. Come on.
I'm being a little silly, but the thing is, it's just. I feel like I'm at the ground level of something special. So that's why I said that. This first album came out. I couldn't believe that every track on it was as good as it was. This was my album of the year, right? So it could be, Chez, that Powerzone is my album of 2022. It really could be. So you're
no pressure.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2. And so listen, I know you've got a busy schedule and you're doing lots of interviews. It's good to know that you're on tour. The album comes out October 21st, again, courtesy of the smart people over at Frontiers Music, right? and you're going to be going out on tour, which is awesome. I hope someday you'll come to the United States. You can open up for Def Leppard maybe over here.
Oh my God, that's like on my bucket list, but who knows? That would be amazing.
We get you on the stadium tour. We kick Joan Jett out, right? We put you on stadium tour, and we get Motley Crue off of there too, by the way. And we have a great time. You never know, if there's a smart, if Irving Azoff or somebody, catches some of this, maybe they'll say, you know what, that's who we want to build a tour with, Chez Kane, and maybe Danny can come along too, since he's a pretty good guitar player, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen,
I'm just going to keep dreaming, and hopefully it will become a reality.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming on. Again, folks, this album is out there to purchase. The new album comes out, though, on October 21st. Definitely pre-order a copy of this. And you can also hear Chez Kane on Restless Spirits and that other band that I can't pronounce, Ginevra.
Yeah.
Ginevra. Okay, Ginevra. And it's great stuff. And she's, she does a lot of these one-take vocal things on YouTube that you have to check out, and they're pretty amazing as well. Chez Kane, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Best of luck in this year and for years to come.
Thank you. You take care.
All right.